Yo, what's going on, my good friends? How's everybody doing today? Hopefully, everybody's having a great start to their what is it, Thursday? I think it's Thursday. Look at me like a clueless dragon. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Yeah, good morning, everybody. Welcome on in. I got something kind of interesting, kind of cool that I'm going to talk about with you today, right now, and it's just going to be me today. By the way, you're not going to be seeing Dave come in today. It's just going to be me kind of running the show, and because I got something really, really cool I wanted to pick apart and show you. And I think it's going to be really, really funny, but it's also going to be, there's some good learning opportunities in here. And it's also me just kind of like roasting myself a little bit because I looked at this and I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe that this worked. And I can't believe I did this. So what I'm going to pull up is actually the sales material from the very first coaching offer that I launched back in 2022. So what I'm going to show you was launched. It was created in January of 2022, and then the product was officially like launched on March something. I don't remember the exact dates, but it was like a month or two later. And what's interesting about this is I was able to do this, and it allowed me to actually sell something that didn't even exist yet. So what is all sort of do, what everybody's sort of natural inclination is that they have to go ahead and create this whole product, or create all these funnels, or create all this stuff. You've got all these things that you need to do, and you can't get around it before you can actually sell anything or launch anything. Now, the nice thing about affiliate marketing is you don't have to create the product because you're selling somebody else's stuff. But what happens if you want to sell your own stuff? People feel like, oh, I got to go through and I got to sell, I got to create all this stuff before I can sell anything. Well, you actually don't. So this is what I did. This is how it worked, and this is why it worked. And I'm going to break it down for you in its entirety right now. So I'm going to go ahead and do a screen share here. And also just for those of you, so you know, this is not compliant, the copywriting on this. We were in a different time. It was the Wild West, and we were at a different time. I didn't know nearly as much. This page looks terrible. The copywriting is terrible, but it worked. Okay, that's what I want to point out. What I'm going to tell you is I had 10 spots that I was going to sell of this. 10. Guess how many I sold? I sold 10 spots. Okay. So even with bad copywriting, even with a really, really ugly page, you can still make sales. You can still sell out your products. Let me go ahead and share my screen here, and I'm going to pull up this is right in Canva. This is just a thing I designed. You ready? You ready for this? Here we go. So let me zoom it in. Look at this. Look at how ugly that page is. So this is basically just, I created this little poster looking thing. Look at how bunched up the text is. Look at how ugly it is. Look at how just awful and bad it looks. Look at the picture of this guy. Huh? I could have picked a better picture of myself. But look at that. Oh, it's underneath the text. But look at that picture. I didn't even take the time, even bother to put a good picture of myself on this thing. Not strategically, just because at the time I thought that was a good picture. So like now I look at that, I'm like, oh my God, I look like some drifter. I look like, some kind of settler. But now I just, whatever. Anyways, become profitable online in 60 days. You can replace your full-time income by implementing these proven strategies from the comfort of your home. This is how I was able to achieve time and financial freedom 100% online, and these proven strategies work for anyone. Look, like I said before I open this, it's not compliant at all. So don't copy this and expect it to work. This isn't a class designed for you to look at this and say, oh my God, he did this and it worked. Let's take what he said and let me go do it. This is really just to point out that, and by the way, I had no business really coaching anybody at the time of me launching this either. I knew quite a bit more than the people I was working with, but nowhere near what I know now. Now I would consider myself like a professional. Back then, looking at this guy, I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think this guy doesn't really know what he's talking about. Not that much. He knows some stuff. He doesn't know a lot. This was actually, this was January in 2022. So right after I got back home and I got healed from having COVID which is what made me transition from being a heavy equipment mechanic fully into online marketing and coaching and all those other things. And I had all this newfound time available in my schedule now because everything I was doing as an affiliate marketer was working. This was about 4 months after I had officially started, right? I kind of launched my business in August of 2021. So we're looking at 4 or 5 months past that here. And I had just quit my job and now or closed my other business essentially, right? And I was doing this now full time. So I had all this newfound time. I was kind of getting a little antsy because I was doing everything I was doing for affiliate marketing, in not that much time. And now I had all the rest of the time where I had nothing to do. And I thought I was going to love that. And I thought it was going to be fantastic. It wasn't really. It actually kind of really sucked a lot. So I needed something else to fill the time with. I didn't like having the free time. I just felt like I wasn't doing enough. I kind of felt like a little bit of a loser, and that wasn't fun. So I needed something else to take up that time. And I said, you know what? I'm going to launch a coaching program. I've been working with coaches myself. It's been really good for me. It's been helpful. It's what allowed me to make so much progress so fast and get so many great results so fast that, you know what? I'm going to go. I want to pay it forward. I'm going to go do this. And what I did was I launched this for $2,000. That was the buy-in for this at the time. And I sold out of it. So even my point here is by showing you this is that my point is that even though this page is ugly, even though the copywriting is not good, you can do this if you're just willing to put in work and just friggin' do it. You know what I mean? Just actually friggin' do it. Because I didn't use a funnel, right? I used my same affiliate marketing funnel, the same funnel that I had always had in my social media. All I did was that I showed this. I put this in my emails. I did green screens with it behind me, and I said to send me a message. And I just showed this. And then what I also had was I had a page that I had put a picture of this on. And then what I did was I had a button that went to my calendar and they can book calls with me. I didn't do that for very long. That wound up being a mistake. I had so much traffic. I had so many losers that I should not be talking to. That's another problem you can run into, is that you'll get a bunch of people scheduling calls with you that you don't want to talk to because they're just freeloaders that are just going to waste your time. And that's what was happening, especially coming from TikTok. So I had my calendar and I was booking it out 2 weeks. And so here I was now adding more availability into the calendar. And I actually got to the point where I was doing 10 hours of sales calls every single day. That's how much traffic I had at this time. And I'm getting on these calls and it was so exhausting that now my content was suffering. Now I'd officially stopped posting, right? Because I'm I don't have the energy. I don't have the time. I got to continue, talking to people. So I talked to a lot of people, right? It didn't convert very well. This was not very good copywriting, but I had a lot of traffic and I was damned and determined to fill my 10 slots. And I did. So you got to be willing to do the work and do what it takes to actually get there. So it's not always easy. So here I was in this position where I had all this newfound time and didn't know what to do with it. Now I was spending so much time doing this that I was okay, this is getting a little bit much. I'm going to have to figure something else out here. So then what I did was the solution was just, okay, I'm not letting anybody book until I actually talk to them first. I'm going to chat with them. I'm going to do some qualification there in the DMs or in email messaging. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'll get on the phone and I'll try to close the sale, if you will. But yeah, this is basically what it was. This was the whole offer. And honestly, I think what honestly sold it so well or got so many people interested after they saw this was this bit right here where I said, I will continue to work with you and hold your hand until you see your first sale. And I did that. So I had of the 10 people that came through. And another funny thing I did, which I wouldn't recommend to people. I did this. This was a fear thing. This was a uncertainty or lack of confidence in my ability to compose myself, but also wanting to see, I was doing this live. This was every single week I was going to do a live workshop. You were going to come in, you were going to learn from me, right? These were all the different weeks: week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, 6, 7, 8. And then every week they would come in, we'd learn something, and then during the week you would go ahead and do the thing that we learned. We'd have a Q&A halfway through, and then the next week we'd have the next training day. So it was a 60-day or 8-week program, and that was just how I structured it. There was not really any other logic behind it than that. It was just, this sounds good and I think it'll work, so I ran with it. And then what I did was I was nervous. I wanted to be able to sell this as a course, but I didn't think I'd be able to do it like really, really good the first time. So what I did was I actually split the groups into 2, and I actually did the training portion of it twice every week. So I had one group that I did the training part with. Then I had another group that I did a training with. And then I did, so 2 groups of 5, very small groups. I wouldn't do this now. And then Q&A, right, for group 1, and then Q&A for group 2. And that was so now it was still only like, the training was usually like an hour and a half, 2 hours. So it was still like not that many hours a week. It's a really, really nice way to do business and have a business and work. But anyways, it worked out quite well for me. But anyway, my point is that I did this, and it's I didn't sit there and just kind of overthink it the whole time. I didn't sit there. I just wanted it so bad that I just went ahead and did it. Anybody can do what I did here, and you could probably do it a whole lot better than me, especially now that I've kind of shown it to you and laid out all the things that I did wrong. No funnel that I used to get all hung up on. It was just, right, emails I sent to my list, green screen in the background of my videos. I would pop this image up there. Or I would do the hand thing where I'd put my hand up, hey, take a look at this, right? And then it would make the picture show up over your hand. It still does that. I did that. I did it in my stories, and I made a really good content that got people's attention, and people reached out to me, and that was it. And they wanted what I was offering, so worked out really, really, really good. So that's kind of the whole point here. And the other point too was that don't spend a bunch of time creating stuff, because what's going to happen if I don't sell this, right? What's going to happen if nobody cares? What's going to happen if nobody wants this? I just don't do the live stream, right? If I put a month into really trying to sell this thing and nobody's interested, and I'm getting the traffic, right? And I'm getting people that are paying attention, and I'm getting people that are inquiring, but nobody's buying, then I know I have a crappy offer that nobody actually wants, right? And what do I do at that point? Well, I just repackage it. I know people are going to want this because people are already buying this type of information, right? So I just changed the way I'm presenting it. And this did happen to be the very first iteration of what I put together. I could have changed it and made it better. But what I did was I just figured, you know what? If this doesn't sell, or this doesn't work, right? If I only sell it to 1 or 2 people, I don't want to do a live stream with 2 people. That's kind of dumb, right? I can decide to either switch it over to a one-to-one type of style, or I just don't do it. Right? I refund the people that bought that. I'm like, okay, well, there's no point in this. This is going to soak up 6 weeks, 8 weeks of my time now. And it's only 2 people. It's not even worth it. So I can just refund them and then just not do it. That was one out. But at least I didn't spend 12 months or 6 months putting together a damn course and doing all the work and hiring editors and doing all this stuff, and nobody wants it, right? It's just all about the action. I've always been all about the action. Let's just get to it, and let's just put it together. And now if I were to build an offer like this, I know how to build something that somebody wants, because I've done this so many times now. So it's not hard. You kind of figure out okay, what do the people you're working with and working for really want, and you can construct that in a much easier way. But in the beginning, you don't want to waste all that time. You just want it to be all about the action, and you want to get to the money as fast as you can, right? So that's the reasoning behind that. So you can take an idea and you can start going out there and selling that idea. And if it sells, then you can put the product together, right? So and this was after, again, this was 4 months after I had started. So it's not like this was a I had some kind of gift, or I had some kind of, no, I did what I was taught to do, right? I made the content, and I made I wrote the emails, and I did all the stuff. I can't tell you how many people I talked to where they've written 6 emails, and it's the only 6 emails they've ever had, and they're 2 years into this, right? I wrote the emails. I looked for every possible way I can get this in front of people, and I used it, and I did that, right? That's what it boiled down to. So there was no gift, there was no special secret sauce. There's no kind of gate kept secret that anything like that, right? It's just, I figured it out. This is what I want to do. This is what I can do. Here's what I'm going to do. Slap some words on a page, and let me go ahead and start selling this thing. And then they would reach out to me. They'd get on a call, and if they wanted it, I would send them an invoice, and they would pay me. And I would use Stripe for that. Everybody paid me through Stripe. And I even had a payment plan for one person. I think they really wanted in, but they didn't have all the money, so I did a payment plan, and I sold that for I don't remember what it was. I think it was like 4 payments of 25%. And I was really nervous about that because then the program would be over by the time they paid in full, because it was like 1 payment a month for 4 months. But they worked. The other thing that happened when I did this was that, and I kind of attribute this to the offer not being something that converted very, very high. It only really converted people that were extremely interested and really, really actually wound up being good customers. I didn't have any clients doing this that I wish I didn't have. So, and 3 of them in particular, I still talk to today, right? Not as a part of this, like, oh, we have the mastermind, or, oh, we have, you're going to get, I'm going to continue working with you, and they haven't made this sale. Just that relationship was built, that connection was made, right? They see me as their mentor, and I continue to help them, and they still reach out to me and look to schedule one-to-one sessions and stuff like that. Check this out of my business. Here's this win. So I still have those connections with 3 of the people that came through this. Now, there's not any bad connection or bad blood or anything with any of the other people that came through this, but they just, like anything else, people move on and stuff like that. But 3 of the people that I met because of this are now, a customer will become a friend a lot sooner than, a friend will become a customer, right? And that's basically what happened. But anyway, I just thought that this was going to be a cool thing to kind of pull out and just kind of roast it a little bit and just show you what novice Ryan did as his first offer online, where he was, selling a real offer that wasn't an affiliate product, and showing you what the barrier to entry to this really is. It's not, it's not, I don't personally believe that you need to have this high degree of results and accomplishments, because at this point, my only accomplishment was that I was able to pursue it full time. Now, to some people, that's a massive accomplishment. To me, that's not a massive accomplishment. That's just like I could have gotten a job, right, and had the same amount of income. I could have kept the other business I had and had more income, right? So it wasn't a huge, accomplishment that that affiliate marketing replaced that, but I was still, even with that little bit of credibility and even with just good marketing or simple marketing, I was able to get people interested and actually have them want to buy my product. So hopefully this was helpful. I know this was a quick one today, but we're going to go ahead and I'm going to get on out of here. I got a lot of stuff to do. And, if you want to catch the replay of this and start putting together your own coaching offer, have at it. But everybody enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll be back again really, really soon.